morning, early birds. I'm here. Woo! I did. Despite what you have to say, Heidi, I did put a comb through my hair. That somebody was criticizing my hairdo. I put combs through my hair. I do. I get up early and do some things for my early birds. Like I got some colored chalk, but I didn't get any flowers yesterday. It was Labor Day and I went out and I didn't, whatever. I didn't get flowers, but I did get colored chalk and I got colored chalk on our colored chalkboard. And we have a great day for you and a great week for you because our goal this week is we have a goal. And that goal this week is to be able to, is it diagram sentences? Is that what we call it? All of a sudden it's like, escape my mind. But that's okay. We have got a lot to do this week in all of our classes. Did you have a great Labor Day weekend? Are you back at school? Did you get involved in trying to do some of those summer busters? Just because summer vacation is over and we're back to school, it doesn't mean that you can't still do those summer busters. Because I didn't call them summer busters. What did I call them? Boredom busters. So there's our boredom busters. Did you do any of those boredom busters? And like I said, don't forget that just because summer is over and we've started school, summer vacation is over, it doesn't mean that you can't still do those boredom busters. Okay, let's keep ourselves moving because now last week we ended off with living and non-living things. We had a science week and I thought, should we go back and finish those living and non-living things? But no, I don't think so. It's going to be a little bit of a review when we go back to science week. And that probably will be after math week. We'll probably do math week next week, right? I think that's the schedule. The schedule. Why do I do that? I don't know. But I don't understand why people do what they do anyway. Like, we won't get into it, right? We won't get into it. Oh, we need so much more love, don't we? We need so much more love, but love might not really help us in these participles. What are we studying today? We are studying participles, and participles are verb forms. So we're going to do a little bit of a review. Now, you'll see the days are different at the top there. So it says day 54 at the top, the classroom day 54. That's when I gave you tip number 12 to know your nouns. All I'm going to do is go through right now the slides that we've already gone through that help us understand and learn our grammar. I want to tell you that by the end of this week, we will be able to diagram sentences because we are able to do that. That means that we know everything we need to know about our grammar. So that's the goal for this week. The goal for this week is to learn everything that we need to know about grammar so that we can diagram our sentences. All right? And I think we're going to do it. So we've already talked about nouns. Make sure you know your nouns. If you remember, these tips are coming from... What did I do? These tips are coming from our 101 ways to improve your grammar skills. So yeah, you thought I forgot about this, didn't you? But I did not, and I didn't forget about you either. Of course I wouldn't forget about you and what your needs are, right? 101 ways to improve your grammar skills. So that's where we got this. And number 13 was pronouns are noun substitutes. Number 14, verbs express an action or state of being. Now, if you remember what we had on our title says that we are doing verb forms. Participles are verb forms, all right? Well, what's a verb? Well, a verb is the action or a state of being that is being done by the subject. We talked about this. If you need to go back for a review, that's why I have day 54. You go back to day 54, and that's where we're talking about verbs expressing action or a state of being. There are action verbs there that we went through. There are linking verbs, which shows us a state of being. The caterpillar becomes a butterfly. Becomes is our linking verb that tells us something about the caterpillar, doesn't it? The subject of a sentence is a noun or pronoun that does the action or is what the sentence is about. The subject decides the spelling or form of the verb to use. So this is one of the reasons why we have to understand verb tense, because we have to understand what verb form we're supposed to use. Remember, the verb is the action part of the sentence. Now you can see there, I have day 60 up here. So I go into more of this detail on day 60 of the classroom, early bird classroom. Here we show that linking verbs can be adjectives, describing the subject. How does the sky look? It looks cloudy. But it can also be a noun as well. The linking verb can link to what we call a predicative noun. We talked about that on day 60. We know that, again, just as we said here on this slide, the subject decides the spelling or form of the verb to use. And so what we need to have then is subject-verb agreement. Subject-verb agreement. When we have a singular subject, we have to have a singular verb agreement. When we have a plural subject, like girls, we have to have the verb agree with that plural subject. On day 60, we talked about the subjects being first person, second person, or third person. We talked about these as pronouns, first person pronoun. I when it's singular, we when it's plural. Second person is always you, always you. And third person pronoun is he, she, or it. We are paying attention here to the first, second, and third persons. Did you ever wonder what it means when somebody says you're talking about yourself in the third person? Did you ever wonder what that means? That you're talking about yourself in the third person. When we say that, stop talking about yourself in the third person, it's when, if I'm myself, I'm first person. How would I talk about myself in the third person? I would use my name, Annette. I would say, Annette needs to go shopping today to pick up some food. That's talk when the sentence should be I need. I should be talking about me in the first person always. What does it mean when somebody talks about themselves in the third person? Instead of using I, they use their own name, third person, right? Like Tom or Sue, he, Tom, she, Sue, or it, the cat. He, she, or it are the pronouns. Tom, Sue, and the cat are the nouns. Got it? All right. We learned something a little new. That's why that says day 76. Let's keep moving. We're going back for review to day 60 again. Here again, now what we have is now instead of subject verb agreement, we have subject pronoun. So these are pronoun verb agreements. And so we've got different pronouns, right? First person, second person, third person, plural, singular. Verb tense. Now, this is what we're talking about when we have to have subject verb agreement. The subject is doing the action, and the verb is the action being done. But when was it being done? That's our tense. Is it being done right now? Was it done in the past? Or will it be done in the future? Okay? Now we talked about these verb tenses on day 60. And there are our examples that we used for present. Casey runs through the park looking for her dog. Past, they pulled the cake out of the oven too late. Or I had my wisdom tooth pulled. I had pulled. Had pulled. There you have an auxiliary verb or a helping verb, had. Had is our helping verb. And this is showing a past participle. Or the future. I believe I will be captain of the lacrosse team. That's not future. That's not a future example. That's a present example. That is. That's a present example. That's a bad example. Because it would be, I will believe you when I see it. I will believe it when I see it. Right? I will believe it. Promises. I will believe it when I see it. Okay? All right. So those are our verb tenses using our past, present, and future tense. I will be correcting that. But let's keep moving. Here we've got, now we talk about regular verbs in the present. The verb in its simplest form is the verb in the present. All right, so we call that verb the verb in its most simplest form, the verb in the present. All right, so if the verb in the present is the most simplest form, it can't be irregular. What has to be irregular is the past or the future tense. All right, so we can see here we have some examples of irregular verbs. And so we can see that we've got, actually the irregular verbs are in the past or using a past participle. A past tense irregular verb or the past tense with a helper. That's the past participle. Past participle is the past tense that uses a helping verb. All right? These irregular verbs, they have to be memorized. You have to know that it is, she was beaten by her father, right? That's not a very nice sentence, is it? No, that's not very nice. She was beaten in the game of lacrosse, right? Was is the helping verb or the auxiliary. So I have got the verb in its simplest form in its present tense. I have the verb in its past tense. Here it's listed because it's irregular. And then the past participle is the past tense when I am using a helping verb, like have, right? I have gotten off to a slow start with that sentence. Okay. Good job so far. There are 2 pages of those irregular verbs. I got these right here from this page from our, and in fact, these are not my highlights here. These are the book's highlights. And in fact, it helps me. I use this book, my Southwestern Encyclopedia, and I use this. This was probably here for homeschoolers is what they went around, and they were, door-to-door salesmen selling these encyclopedias for people who are homeschoolers. I'm not a homeschooler. I was never a homeschooler, but that's because my kids really wouldn't listen to me. I'm like, they're not going to learn anything from me. I have to have it from somebody else, and I'm going to filter the information through that teacher. And that's exactly what I did. It is. So here are the 2 pages where I got the list of irregular verbs. There's the first page, and here's the other page. Well, I don't know. I thought there were 2 pages. Are those the same? I don't think they are. No. I probably had to divide them in 2 pages myself. Okay. So what are participles then? What are participles? Participles are forms of verbs, different forms of verbs. Verbs like the word, for example, running. Running's a verb, isn't it? You can see the action. Running is a verb. But what about when I use the word running platform? Is that action? Is running action there? A running platform. Is running an action there? No. Or a running start. A running start. Is running an action there? It's not an action. But it is a verb. But it is a verb. So how is that verb being used in the sentence? Kelly got a running start. Because got is the verb. Kelly got a running start. What is that? That is a verb, a form of the verb. It's a participle. Verb forms, well, that's actually not a participle. That's a different one. But it's a verb form. We're going to talk about different verb forms. Participles are one kind of verb form. They are forms of verbs that are used to form verb tense. They help us form verb tense, present tense, past tense, and future tense. It helps us form our verb tense. We don't always need it to form verb tense. We saw that right here with our examples over here. We don't always need participles to form verb tense. I pull the cork out of the bottle. But participles in verb tense participles use a helping or auxiliary verb. So that's how you could tell it's a participle. It's a participle if it has a helping verb. Casey is running through the park. Running is our verb. Is the auxiliary verb, the helping verb. Shirley had pulled the cake out of the oven too late. Pulled is the verb. Had is the auxiliary or helping verb, and that's why this is a past participle. That's a past participle. Future tense always uses a participle. The future tense always uses a participle. I will be collecting papers until August. Will be is our helping verb. Collecting is our verb, so our future participle is will be collecting. So sometimes we have verbs that have helper verbs. And what that helper verb does is it, or auxiliary verb, we also call it. What that does is it helps us decide the tense. Is it happening now? Did it happen in the past? Or will it happen in the future? Gerunds are also another verb form. Gerund is another verb form. You can see running, grilling, studying. Gerunds are nouns that end in ing. If I said grilling, that's action, isn't it? But it's not the verb of the sentence. Look for the verb of the sentence and you'll see it's not the ing word. So, Tina's running has improved greatly. Has improved is the verb. We can see that's a past participle. How do we know? Because it's in the past tense and it has a helper. Has is the helper. Improved is the verb. So what is running? Running is a noun. It is a gerund. A gerund is a noun that ends in ing. We're talking about her running. That's a thing. That's a thing right there. Her running is a thing that she does. Running is a thing she does, right? So that is a gerund. We can see the action in it, but it's not the verb of the sentence. So it must be something else. Now, remember what I've said here, early birds. What I've said here is that when you get to be 35, you may never again know the word gerund or ever use the word gerund again after your English class once you've used it. Unless you're an English professor, an English major, a writer, you may never know what the word gerund means, but you need to learn it. You need to learn it so you understand grammar. It's something you have to learn in order to graduate high school. So let's learn it. Let's just learn what it is, right? If you want to take this early bird as your class, as the classroom, you can do it. You can do it. You can go to school with me, Dr. Annette Feravich, used third person, right? Was referring to myself in third person. You can come to Dr. Feravich's classroom, to my classroom, referring myself to in third person again, and learn everything that you need to learn to take your GED and get your GED. If you want a high school diploma and not a GED, that's just on paper. That's the difference is on paper. The differences shouldn't be in what you've learned. All right? So let's learn it. We're going to end up diagramming a sentence by the end of the week. Cross your fingers. We should be able to do that by the end of the week, which means we're going to know every single part of speech. We're going to know every single word grammatically in a sentence. And that's going to be the end of our grammar. That's it. Never to return to grammar again. I know, early birds. Then what are we going to do? There we go. Tom was questioning his wife, but it looked like a grilling. That's a thing. That's a thing. So he was questioning his wife. But you know how when you give a person a question after question after question, they call that a grilling, don't they? So Tom was questioning his wife, but it looked like a grilling. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take a little bit of a break only because I have to plug in and I don't want the battery to run out. And you're like, a break? We're almost done. Yeah, we are almost done, and that's great. But I wanna but I need to plug in. So we'll do our ABCs. I'm here. I plugged in. I just have a quick question. Well, Farrell, how would you possibly know that it looks like I'm talking into a mirror if you weren't watching the show? And how would you know about my Christmas tree? I love hearing that so many people are watching the show, like famous people like Will Ferrell and Matt Damien and oh, who was the other person? Oh, that I wanted to mention. Oh, of course, David Letterman. Oh my gosh. Like you had a chance with all that. Oh my gosh. I know. I cannot believe that all of these big names are watching. And I am so happy. It's what I said before. The numbers, they're not there for me. They're not there for me because I already know what I'm doing here. And I'm so happy that you early birds are here. And I'm so happy to hear all of those big names that are watching my show. I can't believe it. So we got to try and stay on track and look professional because we have a lot of people watching this show. Tip number 15, an adjective describes a noun or a pronoun. Now, I am updating this. So we had that already. We already did that on day number 60. Talked about adjectives. But you can see, oh, that's, why does that say day number 77? It's day number 76 today. But you can see we're updating this for this lesson. And the reason why we're updating it for this lesson is because there's a lot more to say about adjectives. We talked about adjectives already when we talked about predicative adjectives. What? We did. Let's take a look at it. One more quick time. We divided sentences up, which is the very first step in our diagramming, if you remember, into the complete subject and the complete predicate. Sometimes that complete predicate acts as a noun, acts as a thing, like a butterfly becomes a butterfly. It acts as a thing. It's describing a thing, caterpillar, by using a noun, butterfly. The predicative adjective looks cloudy, describes the sky's character using an adjective, using something that's descriptive. Cloudy describes the sky. Cloudy is not a thing. Butterfly is a thing. But cloudy is a description. And adjectives describe. So we already talked about these predicative adjectives already. And we talked about adjectives again when we were talking about when were we talking about those again? Or maybe that was it. Yeah, that was it. And the predicative adjectives. Sorry about that. Never mind. I thought we were talking about them again in our gerunds or something, but gerunds aren't adjectives. Helping verbs are verbs. So I thought we were talking about them again, but as I went through this, but we didn't. Erase that. Erase it. It gets confusing sometimes. So adjectives, this was the second one. That's the reason why. This is the second. So an adjective describes a noun or a pronoun. And in this case, a participle can be used as an adjective. Remember, a participle is a verb form. So here we have again the ing form of a verb. Boiling, trying, swimming. But all of these ing words are used as adjectives because they're describing something else. The boiling water began to steam. What kind of water is it? It's boiling water. The ing word, which looks like a verb, is a participle used as an adjective. This ing word is a participle used as an adjective. The boiling water. It's describing the water. A trying quiz. That would be better. Or a trying boy was unsuccessful. Describing the boy. Ashley went into the dressing room to try on her swimming suit. Do you get all that? Did you get all that today for our class today, for our English? I'm going to correct those sentences. It was not easy trying to figure out some sentences, and I wanted to try and figure out my own sentences, and as you can tell, I had kind of a difficult time. What we're learning here is that that a verb ending in ing can be a participle as an adjective. It can also be used as a gerund as well, as a noun, right? So we have got participles that help us tell the tense of our words, right? Past, present, future tense. We have participles ending in ing that act as a noun, and we have participles that end in ing that act as an adjective as well. Okay? That's what we learned today. That was a lot. The next thing that we have to do is, we have infinitives, and then we're moving on to articles. We'll talk more about adjectives and adverbs tomorrow. I don't know if we'll get to we will get to diagramming sentences by Thursday. I just don't know if we're going to have every tool that we need to be experts at it. We'll probably come back and practice it again when we come back to our grammar week again. So this week we have grammar week, so stick around. We're going to probably wipe out all of our grammar. I hope. But it doesn't mean our English is going to go to the wayside. We're going to start writing, and we're going to start, doing reading comprehension. This is Dr. Annette Feravich. Thanks for joining me here in the classroom. Today is September 5th. We are in September. I cannot believe it. And we are on day number 76 of the classroom. Thanks for joining me here. Come back in a half an hour, 9:15. We'll be in the Bookless classroom, wrapping up our Civil War and talking about state reports. So if you are of the age where you want to start writing or thinking about, even if you can't write perfectly, reporting on things, you can talk, right? Stick with us for the Bookless classroom, and we'll be doing